Hello, all you fellow compatriots of anime watchers, and welcome to our show today.
I'm Laz, the... Oh man, I don't want to say that, boy.
And I'm Cody, the Laughs Along with Laz boy, and I'm in America. And we're not just across the pond, but we're across the other pond.
Other pond. The show where we probably shouldn't say some of the stuff that we actually say, and I thought of something, but I didn't say it, so that's good.
Great job. You really pulled yourself back in there. You saw yourself go out and like astral projected, pull yourself in.
Well, this is what happened in my mind just now. Like, I was... Okay, you know how, like, we usually say something boy?
Yeah.
You know? Well, I was looking around the room, and then I could only think of colors. I'm like, okay, well, there's colors in here. So how about that color? White! Wait, I shouldn't say that. It's like, I'm Les, the white boy. Okay. But anyway, like, yeah, sorry about the delay today. Like, it seems like everything in the universe was trying to stop me from recording a podcast.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was like, I slept horribly last night. I don't know what was going on with my stomach. You know, IBS is such a... it's not really painful. It's just annoying as fuck. And then, it's just like, recently my intestines have been like, what is the word? I forgot how to say it in English. It's been spazzing. Yeah, it feels kind of like someone is wringing out my intestines, you know. It doesn't really hurt, it just feels weird. Yeah. You know. Which I probably have had something like this ever since I was a kid. But what was the other thing? Oh, there was also, you know, Chinese traffic in the morning. Ugh. And
oh yeah?
There was something else. Yeah, dude, like getting on a bus at like 8 o'clock in the morning in China, or like 5, 6, like rush hour, you know, it's hectic as hell. Like you have like 100 people or so like stuffed on one regular sized bus, and then you just gotta learn how to be intimate with people without being intimate with them. You know. Yeah, dude, and then there's just some people that come on that are all sorts of smells, you know, like just like you'd expect, you know, like it's interesting how you can know what people eat by what their body smells like. Really? You know?
Yeah, that is true. That happens a lot.
Yeah. Like, for instance, you know, there's a type of food here in China called lu. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like lu cai is like, I've heard the English translation is brined, but that's not quite right. What it is like you put a whole bunch of stuff in like a pot with a whole bunch of soy sauce and a lot of different other spices. Usually the main spices are like ginger, soy sauce, I guess that's a spice, anise, star anise, it's not just regular
very popular
anise. And then what's the other thing? I think also garlic, but like there's a whole bunch of other spices, and you put that all together, and then you put like meat and eggs and like vegetables and stuff in it, and then that's like lu cai, and it's got a certain scent to it, and like today there was some like grimy looking guy that came on, and he just reeked of lu cai, and I was like, yeah, well, I know what you eat every day. Yeah. But anyway, so today we will be talking about what, Cody? What are we
We are
talking about?
talking about
I forgot.
the Pokemon anime, which Laz has been watching quite a lot, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm at episode 39, I think, and I'm watching the Taiwanese dub.
Okay, the
So,
Taiwanese dub. Okay, I was talking to my friends, they were asking about it, and I was like, I think he's watching the Chinese dub. Taiwanese, now I remember.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the older animes are all dubbed in Taiwan. I guess because before they had more. Well, I mean, first of all, Taiwan used to be a Japanese colony for like 50 years.
Oh, really?
From the beginning of the 20th century all the way to 1950, I think. I am probably wrong about that, but yeah, they were a Japanese colony for a long time, and it wasn't until like after World War II, after the Chinese Civil War, like that Taiwan was given back to China, and but it's disputed right now.
Yeah, let's say that.
So yeah, let's just say that. But yeah, so that has affected Taiwan a lot. Like in a lot of ways, they have become more Japanese too. So Taiwan is like a place that's like stuck between, I would say, and in the Taiwanese mindset is also like that. They're stuck between China, America, and Japan, and I would say more stuck in China and Japan. But they're also, I don't know, I always get like kind of a weird American vibe from Taiwanese people.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just because the way they think about the world is just so much more open, and it seems like it's easier to talk to Taiwanese people about things. But yeah, like, so.
And do you think that blends over into their Pokemon?
Well,
or
I mean,
their
like,
dubbing of it?
Well, I think I like the dubs a lot better. Well, I mean, mainland China, I don't think I've ever. Mainland China doesn't like to dub things. They just kind of throw subtitles.
They just subtitle.
It's
interesting how different cultures think that, like whether they dub it or not. Because I know Germans dub almost everything.
Yeah, Germans dub, like even interviews. Like I was watching like because I'm a language nerd. I sometimes watch videos in languages I don't understand, and so like I was watching an interview of an American guy that had commentary in German, and every time they were talking to the interviewee, when he was speaking English, they just like toned it down, and then they put a German dub over it. And that was kind of interesting to me,
That's very interesting.
Yeah, but then you look at a country like Sweden, where they don't dub anything except for kids shows, and even I don't even know then, like anime. Apparently, there's hardly any dubbed or subbed anime in Swedish, because everyone just watches it in English. Like, that's something about Sweden that's kind of interesting. There's very few books and TV shows and stuff that have been translated into Swedish, Like, they'll put subtitles, but, like, books, like anime, like, I was looking for, anime translated into Swedish about a month ago, and then, like, I went on Reddit and asked people, and it was like, yep, sorry, there's no need for Swedish translations in anime. And it's like, what? And it's like, yeah, everyone just
we just do English. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of scary to me, actually, because, I
feel like that's a sense you could lose your language that way, almost.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, like... but that's a topic for another time. Let's get back on topic with Pokemon. Like, so what is interesting to me about the Taiwanese dub. So first of all, they I don't think they changed anything from the original Japanese anime. They didn't like censor anything.
Yeah, not like America.
They didn't. Yeah, like I never realized how Japanese the show actually is. You know, there's so many like Japanese elements to it. The way they sit, the way they eat, the way they drink, and like the things they talk about. It's very Japanese. And then also the other thing is it can be very lewd sometimes.
Yeah, you know? That's just kind of standard Japanese anime stuff. But it's interesting that it would be in a kids show still.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we have different concepts of what is okay to show kids, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like that in China and Japan, like there's very, very few things that that parents would not allow their kids to watch. Like for instance, one of my students over here, he's like, what? Like, he's like 11 or 12? No, I think he's, yeah, like, well, at the time he was 12 and his brother is like 8 or so. And we were talking about anime, and I recommended Eva to him. Just because I was watching it again, and then I was like, I don't know if you'll like it or not, but it's kind of weird and it's gory and stuff. I don't know if your mom will let you. And it's like, watch it. And he's like, nah, she doesn't care. I'm like, what? Because like,
yeah,
Eva's
my parents definitely
crazy.
cared what I watched.
But no, they don't. A lot of parents just don't give a shit. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I think I would only say it's bad because I grew up in that society where, you know, in the American society where there is different levels of censorship for according to your age.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, like so, it's just kind of interesting to see that even kids like swearing isn't a bad thing either. You know. Yeah. Do
they swear in Pokemon?
Oh, no, they don't swear in Pokemon.
Okay.
Like, I'm just talking about in general, in China at least. But, like, so getting into Pokemon, like, some of the things that I saw, I mean, I've heard about before online and stuff, but it just seemed so weird to see it in real time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, like, one of the things is Misty is a lot more violent towards Ash and Brock than in the American version. Yeah.
Oh, so they like toned her down.
Yeah, and I before I start watching it, I saw a thing on YouTube about it, and I'm like, really? And then it really did surprise me how much Misty like always was like grabbing like a giant rock and throwing it at Ash's head, and I'm like, holy shit. You know,
that is nuts.
It's crazy. And then also what is it, Misty is sexualized more. I mean, like, there's the swimsuit contest, and then of course there's Team Rocket in the swimsuit contest that with James boobs. And the giant giant
boobs.
And is that what they call it?
No, I'm just saying. I thought that's where you were going with it. James and the Giant.
Oh no, you went you went there with that, and that was a good one. But what is it? And then what is the other thing? Oh yeah, the Safari Zone episode. I think in America they just cut that out.
I think
completely.
They just skipped that one. I don't think that's even in there.
But I remember. Oh no, not I was taking two episodes and smashing them together. There's the Safari Zone episode, and then the one where the kid gets lost in the jungle, and then he is adopted by Genghis Khan. Yep,
that one doesn't ring a bell at all.
Really, you don't remember? Like the kid, he had like Goku hair, blue Goku hair, and had like a Tarzan kind of tarp over him, and used a boomerang to attack people. And then Team Rocket used the giant Robo Genghis Khan to attack the Genghis Khan herd. And then like the mom and dad were looking for their kid in a helicopter.
I don't remember that.
Maybe you didn't see that episode, but it's like episode 34, I think. And yeah, like the thing is, like one of the biggest things that got cut out in that episode was when the kid first like met Misty. Like, you know, he's like wild and whatnot, so he started staring at her breasts. Yep,
sounds right.
And then the first thing he asked her is like, "Can I drink your milk?" Yeah, and that was like cut out completely from the English dub, but you can still hear the sound effects from his staring of Misty's breasts.
Really,
in the like English version. Yep, it's like it's got the sound like this ascending.
Huh.
And like yeah, you can still hear it in the English version. But then another thing that I think even got cut out in the Taiwanese version was like the dad is like this little like weird midgety guy with a weird face and a weird body and whatnot, and like he's like just eccentric in altogether. Like the way he lost his son was he was in a helicopter and looking at the jungle below, and then he's like he wanted to show his little 3-year-old kid the jungle below, so he like Michael Jacksoned his baby outside
and held him
the
out
window
and then dropped him.
Yeah, and then dropped him into the forest. And then it was funny, like he was just like the babies started falling towards the jungle, like he was just like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea, son. Like, why don't you go down and take a closer look?" Oh my
god!
And then the wife was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But then, okay, so that's an example of his such eccentricity. How do you, he was very eccentric. Let's say that.
Eccentricity.
I can't say that word. Eccentricity. There you go. We can say English.
Yeah,
but like but so then after he asked if the kid asked Misty if he can drink her milk, like the father comes out and it's like opens his shirt up. It's like, "Here, son, you can drink my milk." And it's like,
okay then.
Yeah, but see, like I watched a YouTube video that explained this like before I started watching the Taiwanese dub, and once I got to this episode, I noticed that in the Taiwanese dub they just muted that part. He still opened his shirt up and you can see all their reactions and whatnot. They just muted that part out, just what he said there.
That's funny.
And I think it's probably because they didn't have enough money or something. It's like, nah, we're not going to just cut this out. We're just going to mute it. It's the cheapest option. And no one's going to ask questions, probably.
Nobody's going to ask us anything. It's fine. It's fine. I mean...
Yeah. That's the only thing that I think I saw that has been edited out so far.
In the Taiwanese version?
The Taiwanese version.
Have there been episodes with guns yet?
Yes.
Okay, so they didn't edit out the guns? Right. Safari Zone has the big gun.
Yeah, like I think I've seen not just that episode, but another episode like oh no, it's the same episode, but like yeah, the guy that takes the caretaker of the Safari Zone, just as soon as Ash and them get to the tourist center or whatnot, like he comes out and just pulls out a giant pistol and aims it straight at Ash's head.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah, they would never show that on a kid show in America. Well, maybe,
and then
I don't know
like
what they would do nowadays. It's weird. TV shows are getting weirder.
Team Rocket also. Yeah, but like, and I think they're getting a little more lenient now too.
Mm-hmm.
With like sexual stuff and more violent stuff. But like, then there's also a scene, there's a lot of gun scenes in there. Like literally like a gun straight on Ash's forehead I mean, that old geezer just pulls out a gun whenever he just gets a tiny bit angry.
Yeah.
You know, he just wants to assert his authority, I guess. But like, then Team Rocket, like James, like takes that guy hostage and just puts a gun straight to his temple, and it's like, well, this is a lot less delightful than the version I grew up with. Because, you know, it changes, you know,
so much to edit out stuff.
I know, but they also gave way to some inside jokes in the anime community, I think. Like,
yeah,
for
absolutely.
Instance, like that Gintama scene where it's like, hey, teacher, you can't be smoking in this room. It's like, no, I'm not smoking. I'm just licking a lollipop really, really fast. And he pulls it out.
Yep. Yep,
oh,
I love
God.
that. That shit's hilarious.
It's great. I haven't watched Gintama as much as I should, but...
it takes so long to get into Gintama. They just have so many episodes. More about Pokemon for the anime stuff?
Yeah.
I think my favorite change... when you look at it, like going back to the American culture that they kind of hijack into Pokemon, is when they pull out the rice balls and they call them jelly donuts. Just straight up, literally just rice balls. And he goes, "You want some jelly donuts?" My young brain didn't make the disconnect there. They weren't jelly donuts. I was like, oh, well, those are just jelly donuts. When I look at it now, I'm like, how could you get away with this? Why wouldn't you just say rice balls? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Like, what would that be called? Like cultural appropriation, I suppose.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like, because
it's the most absurd thing I've ever heard, though. To be like, this is a jelly donut.
Well, I mean,
betray your eyes.
I don't know. I wonder if American kids would actually not watch Pokemon, or like just because of that, or I don't know, maybe Americans just would, I don't know, would Americans reject it because there is food they've never seen before on that show?
I'm sure marketing thought about that. I don't know.
Or maybe it would just feel a little more foreign, you know, because actually growing up watching Pokemon, I never had the idea that it was from Japan, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was just another American show almost.
Yeah, you know, like all these shows, like even Dragon Ball Z, it's like, I never got the feeling that it was from Japan. I always thought that it was from America, you know?
I mean, you could say in one sense that's really well localized, that we felt that way. That we were able to listen to it, and we understand. It is helpful in a way because it lets us understand the show better. Because if there's too much foreign stuff, for sure, you're just like, well, I can't relate to this show at all.
Just like, you know, with Dragon Ball Z, it's like all of the weird, like, Japanese cultural references would just kind of go over our heads because we just see it as like the world of the show instead of like the world of Japanese culture. Yeah. You know? So, like, even with Pokemon, you know, there's so many aspects in there that, like, with the Pokemon design, like, one of the ones that I always give as an example, Magikarp. You know, that's from, it's actually originally Chinese culture, but it was taken, like, Japanese
Shintoism uses it.
Yeah, you know, what is it? How is it?
Yeah,
what is it called?
So
Li
something in pods and stuff or the Japanese believe that, you know, the carp symbolizes when you're not enlightened, and when you become enlightened, you turn into a dragon. Effectively, is what the carp does. Is it turns into a dragon to fly out of the pond. So you have a carp becoming a Gyarados, which is like a big dragon, basically. So it's like your carp gets enlightened.
I never actually thought of the reason behind it. I just have always heard, like, the saying. I forgot how it goes. It's like something Li Long. Li Jin Longmen. I don't remember, or something like, or Li Ru. I don't know. But anyway, like, it's like, There's other designs, Pokemon designs that are like that, aren't there? I think like that off the top of my head, I can't really think of any
I
besides
think there are
Magikarp.
a lot that are references to Japanese culture.
At least like
I wouldn't
the
know them, but-
original.
Yeah, definitely the original 150 are pull from Japanese mythology. I mean, they have that peppered in throughout a lot of them, where they're like a Pokemon that resembles more the fantasy being than a regular animal.
Mm-hmm. Like,
and we don't even get that connection, so we can't. We know it's there right now, but we can't actually make the connection because we're not ingrained in that culture.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of. I don't know. I think that gives it more charm in the American version because, like, if we're not used to these kind of sayings and like these myths and whatnot, then it seems fresher to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes the other way around with Japanese people giving English names to things. It's like we see them as kind of like dumb sometimes, but like they see it as like, oh, cool. It's almost like us giving something a Latin name. It's like, whoa, But then like with the it's kind of interesting. Like in that respect, like like for instance, there's some Pokemon that are just sound like English names. Like for instance, Ghastly. You know what Ghastly is in Japanese?
Isn't it just Ghost?
Yeah, it's just Ghost. It's like, I think there's a few that are like that, and I forgot which ones. But like it's even worse for the Taiwanese or the Chinese names for Pokemon. Like, I mean, they don't use English names. It's just like they give them such ordinary names.
Do they call Pikachu
Like,
Yellow Mouse?
No, they still call Pikachu it's Pikachu. But then for instance, Charmander is 小火龙, which means little fire dragon. That's okay. And then you know what Charizard is?
Big fire dragon?
Guess what Charizard? Yep.
Oh, I nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot that is just like that. It's like, why? That's such a horrible naming system to me. It just loses all its like charm because you don't have all these like
little puns or little.
Well, not puns, but you don't have like special names for each creature. It just seems like you can't differentiate it from like a real world or like other like mythos creatures.
Right,
because
there are a lot of other things that have big
that
big
are fire
lizards,
right?
Yeah.
So like, but there are other Pokemon in the Chinese version that are like. They have different names, well, Ditto isn't a very good name. It just Bai Bian Guai, which just literally means 100 change monster.
Very interesting.
Yeah, Bai Bian, because in Chinese and I think also in Japanese, like the number 100 can just mean like infinite amount. And then what is the other one? Let's see. Let's think. And then Meowth is just Meow Mao. And or Meow Me. It just literally like kitty cat or whatever.
That's really. I mean,
Squirtle is different. Squirtle is Jiani Gui, which Jiani, I think it's just like. I don't know why they call them Jiani, but then Gui just means turtle, so it's just like Jiani turtle. And then
the one that squirrel, I think
is no.
Okay.
Squirrel is Songshu, but that would be weird if you call it Squirrel Turtle.
Well, that's what Squirtle seems like. It's a mix of.
Is.
Yeah, that's.
Holy fuck!
Look at Squirtle's tail. It looks like a small squirrel tail.
Oh my god! Holy shit, man! I never thought of that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just blew Laz's mind. You're welcome.
Dude, I literally, it felt like I was on a roller coaster, being pushed back by the G-forces. That's how hard you just hit me with the realization. Holy shit, that's why he's called Squirtle. I always thought it was because he squirted water.
It's also that, though, I think. So it's this cool,
holy shit,
double meaning words.
Dude, the people who gave the English names to Pokemon were geniuses.
The first gen for sure were super, super smart.
Oh my god, those Pokemon names are amazing. They did just the most amazing job with those names.
It does seem like the more generations are made, the less work is gone into localizing Pokemon names. They kind of just keep names that are very, very similar to the Japanese style.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily... Well, it's not that they're lazy or anything. I think it's more that Japan now is pushing its culture in all realms now.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Because, you can see that more in, in Nintendo games recently. You're starting to get more... For instance, in the soundtracks, you're starting to hear more Japanese instruments and musical styles and also instrumentations. And then also you look in the games and you also see more things. The thing that surprised me, I've never played Mario Odyssey, but I watch people play it online sometimes. Bowser's Castle in Odyssey is a traditional Japanese castle.
Kyoto Temple. Yeah, basically.
Which I thought that was so cool. Oh my god, I really want to play it now.
It's fun.
I really, really want to play it. But
to reel this back into Pokemon, do they change the music from the original version to the American one? They kept the music the same? Because in Dragon Ball, they did the opposite. They made a whole new soundtrack basically for the American version. And
the only...
when I was really I was trying to get... a good version of Dragon Ball so that I could watch it, or Dragon Ball Z, there's a huge argument online basically between the original Japanese soundtrack and there's only one run of the American dub that has that original soundtrack versus the American soundtrack. And people are very up in arms about which version is good or not.
Yeah. See, I remember watching DBZ again back in high school, and I remember that I had problems. Well, not that I had problems. It's I heard the difference between... I watched the Japanese sub. Well, no, the English subbed one with the Japanese dub, and so of course they had all the original music, and it was weird to me. Because, all of a sudden, it wasn't as serious as I remembered it.
Yeah, it's way more lighthearted.
Yeah. And I kind of liked that. It was just... It just seemed really serious when I was a kid, especially, going to Namek and everything. It always seemed like there was... It was, this, horrible, cosmic struggle, rather than it's oh, bad guys afoot.
Yep. Goku's got to go somewhere, and he's not doing it to really save the universe or anything. He just feels like he wants to fight.
Which it's really interesting also to watch DBZ after you've read the story of the Journey to the West.
Yeah.
But anyway, we shouldn't go into DBZ too much. But with let's see, with Pokemon, let's go just with what is it? Oh wait, that's the other thing I wanted to say. So you blew my mind with the Squirtle thing. The other thing that blew my mind a couple years back was that I realized that Diglett's red dot there is not his mouth, and I haven't met anybody else that thought that his red dot there was a mouth. Like, I can't unsee it as a mouth. I cannot see it as a nose.
Oh yeah, I've always seen it as a nose, but I can't see it as the mouth because I know that white thing looks like a tooth. Like, I can see it as a mouth, but I always saw it as the nose.
It didn't look like a tooth to me, actually. It looked like, you know how people draw mouths, and it just looked like the way people draw a mouth open, you know?
Huh.
You know, in cartoons. Like, I cannot see it as a nose. It's like, because if it's a nose, it has to have like nostrils, or it has to have depth to it, but they didn't draw it like that. Yeah, and in the anime, you never see Diglett side profile.
Yeah,
right?
they still only ever do his front side. How are we supposed to figure this out?
And then so that's why he's much cuter, and Dugtrio is much more serious looking if you see it as a mouth. If you look at it as a nose, it just seems stupid to me. It's like, why does he have a fucking nose? It makes more sense that he has a mouth to me. You know, that made me angry, actually. That realization made me really angry. Like, it's like, I don't want Diglett to have a fucking nose. He doesn't need a nose. You know, why does he need a nose, you know? Like, yeah, I mean, you can live without a nose, but how about a mouth? Where are you going to put your food?
Yeah, right?
You know?
How does Diglett even work?
What does he... Yeah, like, if he doesn't have a mouth... If he doesn't have a mouth, then does that mean... Or maybe...
How does he even make sound if he doesn't have a mouth?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon that don't have a mouth, right?
Are there?
Yeah, like Nosepass. Right? Or, Dragonair has a mouth, right?
Yes, Dragonair has a mouth.
Okay, who doesn't have a mouth? Let me think. Well, I mean, like... Magnemite. There you go.
Yep, Magnemite definitely doesn't have a mouth.
Yeah, Magnemite doesn't have a mouth, but I think
this is a fun thought
just
exercise to think about Pokemon that don't have attributes.
Yeah, I mean, like, because in cartoons, they just kind of ignore that fact and just make you wonder, you know, sometimes, like, how do they eat?
Yep.
What?
Speaking
of
like, that,
I was just thinking.
Have you seen the episode yet that brings up that they eat Tauros meat?
No.
That happens in one episode that they mention that they eat Tauros meat, and it's nothing like that is ever brought up again. Like, after that episode, they were like, no, Pokemon are never eaten. They're not used for food. We're never saying that. There's never been anything like that. But I remember that there is an episode where they mentioned that they cook Tauros.
Well, I mean, like, there's also the episode where when Ash caught that Krabby and sent it back to Professor Oak, he was afraid that Professor Oak would eat it. But then there's another thing like that. Like, early on, it was like one of the... it's before episode 10. I think maybe episode 8 is like where Ash gets a crush on a girl.
Really?
And then in every other episode after that, like, he never shows any affection towards anyone except a little tiny bit towards Misty, but not really.
Yeah,
you know,
they really do the will they, won't they in the future, and we'll never mention it.
Yeah, like it was the episode where they went to the Pokemon Academy, and the best student there was a girl, and then and one of the kids there showed a picture of her, and like Ash and Brock were like all googly eyes over her. And that's the only time you ever see Ash, like, you know,
attracted to anything,
showing romantic. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that's that there. But here, why don't we say, what is your favorite Pokemon?
My absolute favorite Pokemon is Blaziken from 3rd generation.
I can see that actually. I
love that Firebird,
and I think you told me about.
I believe I have mentioned it once before. In fact, I have a cool little Blaziken terrarium thing in a Pokeball that Ashley bought me as a gift, and it's amazing, and I love it.
That's cool.
I'll send you a picture. I'll definitely put a picture up on Twitter when this airs.
And then let's see. My favorite. Can you guess what my favorite would be? I might have told you before.
Could you tell me what generation it's from?
Third generation.
Okay.
So same generation as Blaziken.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I have two favorite Pokemon, but the second one's kind of a joke.
Is it Milotic?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, well then no.
What is Milotic?
It's what evolves from Feebas. The Feebas is like the really ugly fish, and then it evolves into this big, beautiful, like Lamia type Pokemon, big snake.
Oh yeah, that is third generation, isn't it? Yeah.
Because you had to give Phoebus enough beauty poffins to level it up. It had to have max beauty in the Pokemon contests.
Huh. That's kind of interesting.
And also Phoebus
I forgot about that.
No, that's in 4th gen. I think that might be the same thing. Phoebus can only be caught in like one special location.
Really?
Yeah, it was really annoying. All right, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Regice.
Regice. That's cool.
Regice.
The Regis are very cool.
That's always been my favorite Pokemon. Well, I mean, once I started playing Ruby, that was my favorite Pokemon. I remember the day. I actually still remember to the day that I finally caught Regice in Pokemon Ruby, and I remember the exact location I was at. I was like, my mom made me open the door for someone at our house, and I closed the door behind me, and I was turning away, and I just threw my last Pokeball at it, and I caught it, and I was so ecstatic. I was like, holy shit, I got a Regice. I'm so happy.
The things you had to do to get the Regis were the most complicated thing I'd ever done in any game up to that point, I think. I was like,
oh yeah, it was pretty complicated.
Yeah, because you had to understand Braille or fucking Google it. And then it was like, use fly, and I was like, you can't use fly underground. What? You just had to use it, and then it opened the door, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I think for Regice you had to like surf in like underground or something like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think remember, so. But it was crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like, Regice has always been. It has had a place in my heart. I think there's something about like the geometrical, like symmetry of it. That
it's very cool.
Yeah, it's just a really cool Pokemon to me. Like, I think when I was a kid, all my favorite Pokemon were legendaries.
Yeah,
I always liked the legendaries the most.
The legendaries always felt so good to get. Like, they did such a good job with them. They were always super cool looking, and they felt like you had to go on this adventure to get them. I feel like a lot of the newer ones have lost that charm for some of the legendaries. Like 4th gen dropped so many legendaries. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I see. My memory. I could pretty much have memory of all Pokemon, like 1st, 2nd, and 3rd generation, but 4th generation. It's probably because I didn't play 4th generation games.
Didn't play like Pearl or Diamond.
Oh yeah, I never played those.
They were pretty solid games. I really liked them for the DS. They used a lot of the cool mechanics, but the amount of legendaries they had in that game was nuts. And I think like 6 of them you had to have special event items. So without cheating, you can't ever get those until an event happens.
I think 4th generation had a legendary I liked a lot. The Darkrai.
Yeah, Darkrai was in that one.
I like Darkrai. See, and that's like, before we get into any more stuff, like I said, I had 2 favorite Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Can you remember?
Can I guess?
Can
the
you
second
guess
one?
the other?
Kind
Yeah,
of is a joke.
it's tech. I think it's like technically first generation.
It's not Mew, is it?
Nope. You can only catch it in the in red and blue, I think.
Is it Missing No?
Yeah.
That was a fun thing to do.
You know that there's something like I have an interesting. It's not really a story. It's kind of an anecdote more. The first time I caught a Missing No, like not 2 minutes after I caught it, the tornado sirens went out off outside, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I know it's like a tornado-looking thing, but did I just create a tornado?
Did I create
in
tornadoes?
real life?
Oh god!
Oh man, but I was actually scared of catching Missing No when I was a kid.
I was worried it was going to break my game a lot. Because I had friends at school that were like, "Oh no, my game doesn't work," after Missing No was caught. And I was like, "Oh god."
Really?
Yeah. It could overload, I think, and like mess up your item bag. But I don't think it ever like bricked your game.
Huh. I've never had a... Well, I don't know. Did I have problems like that? I probably did. I just don't remember. But like, you know what's interesting about that glitch is that I learned recently, like I was looking, there's like these really interesting videos on YouTube that explain the glitch, like all the code behind the glitch.
Yeah, because it's really cool.
And apparently the Pokemon that you find on Cinnabar Island, after you go through that whole clip with the what's it might call it, the old man, like it all depends on what you named your character in the game.
Yeah,
like
that's what they generate the seed on.
Yeah, so like that's kind of cool, I think. Like that means like you could probably make a name where you can like you'd only be able to find legendary Pokemon or something like that.
Maybe. What's really cool, like it is really cool to look at the like Red and Blue and Gold and Silver are really cool to dissect from a programmer's perspective because of the way they had to like Tetris in the code so that it would all fit in the memory space.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Masuda, when he was working on Gold and Silver, found a way to cram that entire first half of the game into the memory space and was like, hey, look, I can add Red and Blue again to this game. Like we have enough space now to add Kanto back into the game. That's why Gold and Silver is so amazing, is that it has both Johto and Kanto full games, basically.
But I like with Gold and Silver, when you went back to the Kanto region, it seemed like you didn't have to go through all the gyms in the same order again.
No,
right?
not at all. You could skip around.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I felt like it lost a lot of charm because of that.
I could see that.
You know,
it doesn't feel as structured.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just a personal thing to me. Like, but, you know, I don't really remember much of Gold and Silver, even though that, all I remember is that I got Gold version, my brother got Silver version, and, yeah, like, I remember having a birthday party at a bowling alley and getting that and being super excited and like flipping that shit out straight after I got it. I opened it up and put it in my Game Boy Color and started playing. And I was like, But honey, you still have presents to open. It's like, no, let me play for a little bit.
This is it. This is the only present I need.
I was really excited for gold version, but yeah, I only played what was it, yellow version, blue version, crystal version, which was after gold and silver actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you played the
version.
third version of the games frequently.
Yeah, like the first Pokemon game I played was yellow version. And then with I played gold and silver first, but then we rented crystal version for a while. And I mean, crystal version wasn't really anything special. It was just that
it had a whole Suicune arc basically.
Yeah, Suicune was Suicune and Raikou were two of my favorite Pokemon. Well, they're probably my favorite second gen. I think Raikou was actually my favorite.
He was such a cool thunder dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the legendary dogs. Those were always like catching those were one of the favorite things to do. Or maybe it wasn't my favorite, but I liked having them.
It felt very accomplishing. It was so frustrating that they would run away though, so you had to develop like a real strategy. Be like, I'm gonna put it to sleep like as fast as possible and paralyze it.
Yeah, exactly. It was always like really like when you saw it come on screen, it was just like I usually like took in a deep breath and
I was like
like that gasp.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, I can't fuck this up.
And then inevitably I fucked it up. I think I killed it more often than I care to admit by accident. Just being like, no. Younger me had a lot of problem with saving beforehand, so I would be like, oh man, when was the last time I saved? Oh no.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I was like that too. But like sometimes when I was like, oh, I didn't catch Entei, who gives a shit? I didn't care about Entei. And I don't know why.
Like I thought Entei was Entei the basis of the third movie? Entei and Unknown, and I thought that was such a weird choice.
I don't know. Maybe
I wasn't
just
a big
because
fan of that one.
I think Raikou was always looks just kind of a little weird to most people, I think. And then I don't know, Entei, I'm not really sure actually. But here, let me ask the other questions I told you before the podcast. What's your favorite Pokemon type?
My favorite Pokemon type is probably, I was weighing this at the beginning, is probably fire type. I think overall, I think the fire have the coolest looks, but close second are the ice types, I think. I like a lot of the ice type Pokemon.
Well, how about a top three? So fire, ice, and...
The third's gotta be dragon.
Dragon. Okay. Fire, ice, and dragon. Which, ice is probably my number one.
Yeah.
I like ice type. Like Articuno. A Suicune is ice, right?
Yep.
Or is it water?
I think it's ice. I think it's water ice. Pretty sure it's both.
Oh. And then, what is it? Of course, Regice. What other ice types are there? In the first generation, I think...
Jinx.
Is there any other ice types?
I think.
Jinx was an ice type?
Yeah. I believe she's psychic
I thought
ice.
Jinx was psychic.
She's psychic ice. I'm pretty sure they're dual types.
Well, in the first generation, you didn't have dual types, right?
No, I'm pretty sure you had dual types, because I'm pretty sure Gyarados has always been water flying. Because he used to say in the guidebook that Pikachu always did 4 times damage to Gyarados.
Oh yeah, like water fly. Yeah, I always forget that Gyarados is water flying and not water dragon.
Yeah, right.
Like yeah, it just doesn't.
It's
make
the same
sense
as Charizard
sometimes.
being fire flying and not fire dragon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But what's the other thing? My second one would probably be, so there's ice, electricity, or maybe Actually, I like dark or in ghost types too.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I think that my second one is a tie between ghost, dark, and psychic.
Yeah.
It's a three-way tie. And then my last one would probably be steel.
Oh yeah, I love when they introduce the steel
like
Pokemon. Give Onyx a plate of armor, basically. Steelix was dope.
And then I liked Steelix a lot. But like the thing is with the newest types, I'm not convinced. It's like, why the fuck do you need fairy type?
Yeah,
that was like.
Fairy is an odd
to me.
choice. I feel like they really shoehorned it in as a direct counter to dragons for competitive. But they don't really. Yeah, because it's completely immune to dragon type.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I don't know much about fairy type, and there was another new type, wasn't there?
Possibly.
Not just fairy type. See,
No,
I actually
poison's
remember
always
when I was
type.
Yeah. Like, I still remember when I was a kid, I used to send like my ideas to different companies.
Oh, really?
Like, I think I was like 8 years old or something. I made a few Pokemon, and one of my favorite Pokemon that I made was called Slycian, and it was like a disc with like blades on it, and it with like not just blades, but it had like megaphones coming out of its sides too. And I called it I made a type too called Sonic type, and I'm like, come on, isn't that just like an awesome type to have? Sonic.
Is that like sound, basically?
Yeah,
that's
sound.
Cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, like, doesn't that make sense as an attribute, you know?
Yeah, to be able, like, Loudred would be a Sonic type. You've already got it.
Yeah, see? It makes sense to me. Like, and, like, then you have, like, my Slycian. I've been wondering recently if they just threw away my drawing, or if, like, someone still has it in some Nintendo's headquarters somewhere. Or maybe they have it on a bulletin board.
Yeah, they could have it on a bulletin board.
I wonder if they still have that. You know.
Hey, Nintendo, tweet at us. Do you still have Laz's drawing?
I wonder if I would like send them a letter or something. It's like, hey, do you still have my drawing when I was 8 years old? I think that would be really interesting. You know, if they actually had it. But yeah, like, I just fairy type. I don't know. That's a disappointment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To wrap up.
Okay, and
to wrap up, Laz.
Okay, wait. What's your favorite episode then? Or no, even better. What's your favorite Pokemon movie?
My favorite Pokemon movie is Pokemon 2000, and we've talked about this on the show before. How much Pokemon 2000 rocked socks.
Dude, I thought the first 3 movies were all good.
Yeah, all 3 were good. 2 was the best.
All 3. 2 still, like, I still remember. I don't know why. Like, the song that they played on that little conch shell,
to call the birds,
has been stuck. It's like so stuck in my head that I don't think even you could give me a lobotomy and I would forget it. You know,
it's like, part of you.
I don't know why. Like, do you still remember that melody?
No, like it's that feeling at the tip of my tongue. It's anomia of sound. I can see it in the ether ahead of me.
Let me give you the first 3 notes. Da da da.
Da 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 dum 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 dum. Right? I'm way off.
Nope. You even changed key too.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I said, I was like, nope, not there in the ether. Still
okay, so
wisps away.
So it's like da 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 ba da 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 da.
I remember that last part. Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 yeah. I wonder how I haven't listened to that for like probably since I was like 10 or 12. Like I need to listen to that again and see if I'm correct. But like I'm pretty sure that's that song. But the coolest thing about watching those movies in the theater, oh, and I'm getting chills just remembering, is getting those Pokemon cards.
Hell yeah. Man. Ancient Mew
from
all the first
about
one.
Getting Ancient Mew. And then was the second one. What did you get? What did we get from the second one?
I feel
was
like it had to
Lugia
have been a Lugia card.
Shit, no, maybe, or it might have been like a Zapdos, Articuno in them too.
Yeah, it might have been the Triple Birds.
No! Wasn't there like a Slow King card for that movie too?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it was a Slow King card.
That's why I don't remember it. Yeah.
I got a Detective Pikachu from Detective Pikachu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They still give out cards?
Yeah, they gave out a card pack, so you got 2 cards. I got Detective Pikachu and Psyduck.
Psyduck. The other thing was, what was it? Oh, and then the third movie you got Entei, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Entei.
And I think it was Entei with the unknowns around him.
Really?
On the picture.
Holy shit! I still remember like going to those movies in the theater. Oh, that was
Digimon. The most. They didn't have any Dragon Ball Z movies in theater, right?
Star Wars, man.
Star Wars had that same feeling.
Movies that. Yeah, I remember the movies that had those feelings were like Pokemon and Star Wars. Harry Potter too, kind of. But the first time I watched the Harry Potter, when my mom took us to watch the first Harry Potter movie, I was not really convinced. I was more scared.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, especially that part where, like, Harry's in the library and then he opens up a book and a face pops out.
That was pretty scary for fucking kids movie.
That scared me. Yeah, dude. But then, yeah, like, but the movies that gave me the best feelings were Pokemon and Star Wars. I remember, like, the day that, it was 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade. The day that Star Wars 3 came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, we were just like the whole class was like, well, at least the boys in the class were just looking at the clock, like just being like, I gotta get out of here. I need to go see Star Wars now. And there was even some parents that let their kids skip school to watch Star Wars during the day.
That's
and I was just like, man, my parents aren't that cool.
All right. So to wrap up, can you sing the Pokemon rap?
Okay, I have a little. Wait a minute. I have another anecdote about that. Like the Johto League one. The Johto League.
I don't even remember that rap.
Well, like, okay, so I think it was 2nd grade, our music teacher gave us an assignment to come up with a rap, and I remember me being like this, like so snobby about it, just being like, I have the best rap ever, and then everyone's like, really, dude, you have the best rap ever, and I'm like, and then like, yeah. And I'm just like, I can see my nose like in the air.
Yeah.
Like from remembering this.
Memory.
And then like I remember all the boys in the class was like, we gotta be with Laz. He's got the shit, man. We're gonna get an A in this. And then like we were in the library under a table, and I was like looking around, making sure no one was gonna hear it. Besides, like the boys that decided to follow me, and I started singing the Pokemon Johto League theme. I was like, Oh my god, now that I remember, it's so embarrassing, but it's also super funny. Just like me being there and saying, everybody wants to be your master. Everybody wants to show their skills.
Oh my god, yeah, I do remember that.
Everybody wants to get there faster. Just get to the top of the hill. Da, 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 da. Yeah, and then I remember like singing that and just seeing the looks on their face going from excitement to just like, this is his big surprise. Oh my god, that was hilarious. But I got really sad after everyone left.
I bet.
They just left. They were just like, okay, we're going to go to another group then.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, like, and then for that project, me and one other kid, it like ended up being the only two that didn't turn in a project. Yeah, it just got F.
Nice.
And that was probably one of the first times that happened to me. But then the other thing is, the Pokemon theme from the American version is different than the theme for the original Japanese.
Uh-huh.
Right? I said this before. Like the original Japanese, it's like 80s synthesizers going. It's kind of like the final countdown almost. It's like yeah. Oh, and then in the beginning, he also, like, Ash yells, like, Pokemon, get the disca! Like that. Yeah. And then, of course, the American one. Classic of classics, right?
Oh, yeah. Please go back and listen to our episode on top 10 anime openings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that one of the Pokemon theme song is, of course, one of them. But why don't we just sing it together as as the ending, our closing? Yeah. Okay. So it's like one. Let's do it on three. 1, 2, 3. I wanna be the very best, that no one ever was. Oh, but we have a delay on
Damn it.
We have a delay on it, so we can't do it together. I forgot about that. That's why you're not in sync with me.
I tried to get in sync and then you dropped back, so I think we're just gonna fight each other for being in sync.
Yeah, we can't do it. But I remember there was a video, like I watched a video of like, you know how they, like at the local symphony, sometimes they'll do like a fun topic, like we're going to do Legend of Zelda music, or we're going to do Pokemon music and whatnot, or video game music. And I think they did the Pokemon theme song as an encore. And then they did the entire song, not just like the part that we all know and love, but they did the second verse. And it was funny to see like everyone go from the first verse, everyone in the whole auditorium singing along, to the second verse, one guy knowing it somewhere in the front of the crowd, and then everyone just kind of mumbling along with him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. All right, well, I guess we should wrap it up then.
Yeah. If you liked this episode, tweet at us, AOP Podcast, on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And then you can follow our Instagram. You can also... Do we have a Facebook still? Yes, I think we do.
Yeah, Across the Other Pond Podcast.
Mm-hmm. And just, interact with us. Say things that you like, dislike. Be our critic and be our friend. Or be both, you know.
Yeah.
It's your choice. It's like, I choose you to be our critic.
All right, that's perfect ending. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.